Blog Talk Radio.
It's the E.WATER-SHOW.
It's the E.WATER-SHOW. It's the E.WATER-SHOW. 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 It's the E.WATER-SHOW. E.WATER-SHOW. It's the E.WATER-SHOW. It's the E.WATER-SHOW. 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 It's the E.WATER-SHOW. 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 Yes, and it don't stop. E.WATER-SHOW back at you, gonna hit you over the head. Let's see, tonight we've got a very, very special show. At 8 o'clock, I will have Mr. Extraordinaire Joe Warlick will be joining the E.WATER-SHOW. He's just done everything, worked with every artist you can imagine. And I'm just really privileged to have this gentleman on the show, Joe Warlick. And we're going to bring him on in just a second. Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to the E.WATER-SHOW on E.WATER Radio. All righty. So let's check in and let's see what is going on with this gentleman. What's going on, Joe?
How are you, sir?
I am excellent. How are you?
I am doing okay. You are way too kind, my friend.
So,
if you knew what I went through today with the dentist, you would. It's good to be on, bro. Good to talk to you,
man. All right, we're gonna talk about just your career. You've done so much, dude. And I'll be honest, this was one of those situations where I had to really, it was really challenging for me because you've done so much and it's so wide. So I hope I give you justice on tonight. I'm going to do my best. All right? So let's jump right on into it. Okay. We've got Joe Warlick on the E.WATER-SHOW, E.WATER Radio, and he is no stranger to this music industry. His career goes back to, we won't say his age, but it goes back. All right? We're gonna
you say my age.
Okay. His career goes back to the 90s, baby. All right? I'm going to make y'all do some math and make y'all think. His vault is just incredible. The artists that are in this vault that he has created, that he's worked with. Now, Joe, what was the first song that you worked on?
The first song that I probably got credits on was on the Set It Off soundtrack, and it was with a group called the Five Footers.
I remember them.
And, they were awesome. They're still my friends. A producer by the name of Keith Clark, who was under Warren G., hooked me up with that because, I was assistant engineer at the time.
Okay.
And they just ended up liking me and gave me an opportunity, So that's how it went. I'm one of those behind-the-scenes guys. Yes.
So let's talk about let's start with soundtracks. What are some of the soundtracks you had the chance to be involved in?
Soundtracks, Rush Hour soundtrack, Batman and Robin. What else? Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Bullworth was another one.
Okay.
That's some of the ones that I worked on.
Okay. Now, what was your involvement with Boys in the Hood?
The record that I worked on with was the group, the Boys in the Hood, which they were signed to Bad Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, and out of that group, all of them were pretty successful. Of course, we know the bigger artists from that group too.
Of course we do. Now, this is something that I was like, whoa. When I was actually doing the research, looking over your bio, going through everything, and there was two names that came up, and I was like, wait, hold up. Okay? Tell me about working with the Queen. And you know the Queen. You know who I'm talking about. Diana Ross and the Doobie Brothers? Come on, talk to me.
Yeah, all the old school artists, when they get in the studio, it's all about love. It's also about respect. Right. But on those sessions, you're going to eat good. You know that you're going to be treated good. It's like royalty coming in, but, the personal chefs come in but everybody from the bottom to the top gets treated with respect, which is a little bit different than, some of the attitudes of the artists. I don't want to say now, but certain artists, they don't have that attitude.
Right.
I mean, it used to be a time to where, the record company, the labels would send you your plaque. And now, it's a little bit different. You got to pay. I don't feel there's any reason if I've earned something or anybody that's earned something on a record should have to pay for their plaque. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's very interesting where they cut the budget for the people that work and still want people to go in 150%.
It has to be a give and take. It can't just be one-sided.
Yes, sir.
And it's like, I just think, in this business, so many things have changed, and we don't want to sound bitter,
No.
What are some of the changes that you would say that you've seen, let's say, in the last 10 years in regards to working projects?
One of the major changes is recordings come from people's home studios, which there's no problem with that. But when I learned the learning curve, I always associated it with how the samurais, they have the people that make the swords, and it's like a tradition to where you got to learn from the master going down and it passes on. Now, a lot of that has been taken away. So a lot of the stuff goes, you got to find the right YouTube channel to learn how to engineer or do whatever. But how do you know if that's real if it's not really in a session? You know what I mean? I will say, right now, this year, I've heard more good music as a human. Everybody's connected through music. It just took a little bit of time for people to realize, hey, we got the home studio, but how come our music doesn't sound like the radio? It doesn't sound like this. So then they started reaching back out to people like me, others, So it's a balance, man. Everything's got to go through change, to get better. And at the end of the day, the people decide. And that's a beautiful thing about music,
Now, one of the singles that you were involved in, I'm about to play a couple of them back to back. And then we're going to come back and talk about those particular two records. So I'm with Joe Warlick, super engineer, super producer. Y'all know who he is on the E.WATER-SHOW, E.WATER Radio. This single I'm about to play, I just had to just give it to you the way it was made. I'm giving you, this is my disclaimer, but I got to keep it real. So we're going to play everything in its entirety. We're going to keep it real tonight, all right? All right, this is the game.
Thank you,
I had to do my disclaimer before I played the record.
My disclaimer, too.
This is a game with dreams on the E.WATER Show. Joe Warlick, let's go.